After the age of pyramids and golden pharaohs, Egypt descended into a real-life Game of Thrones. But the players weren't just Egyptian. They were Libyan warlords, Nubian kings from Kush, and finally, the overwhelming force of the Persian Empire. This is the chaotic, forgotten story of how Egypt survived centuries of civil war and foreign rule, desperately trying to reclaim its former glory against impossible odds.
Welcome to beautiful history, where every story is an adventure. From the sands of ancient Egypt to the bustling streets of modern cities, we uncover the mysteries, dramas, and wonders that shaped our world. Explore lost civilizations, epic battles, and legendary figures brought to life with passion and detail. Discover the journey of humanity from Egypt to the world. Subscribe now and let your adventure through time begin. This is beautiful history.
In the twilight years of the New Kingdom, ancient Egypt, the greatest power of its world, began to fracture. With the death of Ramses XI, the last ruler of the New Kingdom, Egypt's unity shattered. In the delta city of Tanis, a new line arose, the 21st dynasty, founded by Smendes. Yet power was fragmented. The high priests of Amun effectively ruled southern Egypt from Thebes, commanding vast temple estates and their own armies. For the first time, spiritual and secular authority resided in separate hands, as Egypt was administered as if by rival kingdoms. But in the western marshes, Libyan mercenaries and tribal groups had quietly settled, sometimes as soldiers, sometimes as farmers. A new force was stirring. By the start of the 22nd dynasty, these Berber-descended chiefs rose to prominence. Shoshenq I, a Libyan chieftain from Bubastis, seized the kingship.
I am Pharaoh now, ruler of both lands. The Libyan period has begun.
Shoshenq's reign was vigorous. He restored Egypt's influence in Canaan, famously appearing in the Bible as Shishak.
The wealth of Solomon's temple now belongs to Egypt.
Yet even as Libyan pharaohs assumed regal titles and monumental projects, their grip was tenuous. Local dynasts and city governors wielded real authority. Through the 23rd dynasty, rival Libyan lines ruled simultaneously in different regions. Egypt remained decentralized. Paradoxically, foreign rule did not mean cultural stagnation. Egypt's traditions persisted, blending with Libyan ones. But this balance would soon fracture anew. By the mid-8th century BCE, this balance fractured anew. From the south, a new force emerged, the Kushite kings of Nubia.
I will reunite the two lands under one crown. Egypt shall be whole again.
Under Pa, the Kushites swept north, reuniting Egypt under the 25th dynasty, the so-called Black Pharaohs. For a brief moment, the old grandeur flickered again, but this renaissance would soon collide with the might of Assyria. In 664 BC, the Assyrians delivered a mortal blow, sacking Thebes and Memphis. Following these events, no Kushite ruler would ever rule over Egypt again. The third intermediate period stands as an age of adaptation, a time when Egypt survived by absorbing outsiders and reconfiguring authority. Though never regaining imperial greatness, it sowed seeds that would shape the last centuries of pharaonic rule. By the 7th century BCE, the glory of ancient Egypt had become a distant memory. For decades, this once mighty civilization had fallen under the shadow of the powerful Assyrian Empire. Egyptian temples stood in disrepair, their sacred rituals disrupted by foreign rule. Yet in the city of Sais, local leaders began to dream of reclaiming their ancient homeland. Among these leaders emerged Psamtik I, founder of the 26th dynasty, who would change Egypt's destiny forever.
These Greek warriors will be the key to our liberation. Their military skill combined with Egyptian determination will drive out our oppressors. Through careful diplomacy and strategic alliances, we will reclaim what is rightfully ours.
With his foreign mercenaries and diplomatic cunning, Psamtik ousted his rivals and reunited Upper and Lower Egypt. Trade flourished, art blossomed, and the ancient rituals echoed through Egyptian temples once more.
Welcome, friends from across the Mediterranean. Egypt opens its arms to profitable partnership.
Under Pharaoh Ramses II, Egypt reached new heights of prosperity, establishing Naucratis as a window to the Greek world. Trade flourished and cultures mingled, creating a golden age of Egyptian Renaissance. But in 525 BCE, storm clouds gathered from the east as Persia's mighty empire set its sights on Egypt.
Egypt shall bow before the might of Persia. Your independence ends today.
For the first time in over 2 millennia, foreign kings donned the pharaoh's sacred regalia. However, the Egyptians resisted Persian rule through several significant revolts. Key examples include a revolt led by Amyrtaeus in 404 BCE, which successfully restored Egyptian autonomy for a brief period, and later, another uprising under Nectanebo II.
We are the last guardians of 3,000 years of Egyptian glory. We cannot let it die.
Brief periods of independence flickered like candles in the wind, as native pharaohs desperately tried to rekindle Egypt's ancient spirit. But in 343 BCE, the Persians returned with overwhelming force. Egypt's last independent pharaoh, Nectanebo II, fled south into exile. With his departure, the curtain fell on over 3 millennia of native Egyptian rule. The late period had been a valiant last stand, an era where ancient traditions endured even as the world around Egypt changed forever. Egypt would rise again under new masters, but never again would native pharaohs rule the land of the Nile.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more journeys through time.